Hello and welcome to Rotted Reviews, and today we continue on with the 4th annual Advent Calendar of Christmas horror movies, where I review a Christmas horror film every day right up until Christmas Day. And today I'm tackling the Devon Sawa, Bruce Campbell recent release, Black Friday. Written by Andy Grzykowiak and directed by Casey Tebow, we get introduced to the character of Ken, played by Devon Sawa. And Ken, he's a bit of a sarcastic, down-on-his-luck kind of guy, as he is divorced and is kind of sharing custody of his kids, and after having Thanksgiving breakfast with them, drops them off to their mothers and stepfathers, and then has to go to the store. The toy store, that is, the toy store where he currently works and has worked for many years, showcasing the lack of ambition that's imbued within this character as he has to work on Black Friday. And then we also get introduced to the cavalcade of coworkers that he's going to be surrounded by on this fateful evening, including Chris, played by Ryan Lee, Archie, played by Michael Jai White, Marnie, played by Ivana Baquero, and Brian, played by Stephen Peck, all of whom are managed by the insufferable Jonathan Wexler, played by Bruce Campbell. Now, the notion of working on a Black Friday is honestly horror enough on its own, but things take a dramatically twisted turn when some customers start showing signs of illness and or zombification, for lack of a better word. This ultimately throws a monkey wrench into Ken's plans, as he was trying to basically just skate through the night until it was over, and instead now it's a fight for their lives. Now, one thing that I've noticed, having done this channel for a number of years now and having tackled so many Christmas horror movies, is that the general curve of average quality tends to dip pretty damned hard as soon as we add festivities into the mix of horror. So I was a little bit on guard with this movie, but nevertheless I was excited about the prospect of a Bruce Campbell, Devon Sawa, and Michael Jai White film. And I think where it kind of came out for me was it was slightly above average for what you would typically consider to be a Christmas horror movie, but just talking about it in general film quality sense, I would have to say that this rides the rails of mediocre. The setting was decently average. Everybody played their characters decently average. The gore was decently average. Everything about this really was kind of middle of the road for me. It did kind of pick up for me towards the end, and it did get a little bit more ambitious, but honestly, those were just kind of the final 5-10 minutes or so. This is by no means a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I just kind of was expecting a little bit more. One thing that this movie did capture, albeit a little bit ham-fistedly, is this notion that's kind of been brewing over the last couple of years now of an anti-work establishment, or at the very least, the fact that it's no longer acceptable to be abused by your employer and grateful that you have a job in the first place. There does seem to be a bit of a cultural pushback in terms of people no longer willing to accept workplaces that are purposefully manipulating and taking advantage of them. Especially during the times when COVID started, people were being told that they were essential workers, and it seems like they're finally stepping up and demanding not just the words, but the actions behind them proving it. And so, like a lot of good horror movies, this one does have some social commentary to it by showcasing a pretty predatory establishment forcing its employees to work on Black Friday, and the nefarious practices that kind of get uncovered as they're fighting for their lives. So although this could have been one-dimensional mediocre, it actually turned out to be pretty rich mediocre. This movie at the time of recording is currently available to rent for about $7 US or purchase for $15 US at pretty much every streaming platform out there. Google Play, Amazon Prime, Apple, the whole lot. And although I didn't find anything terribly remarkable about this movie, nor did it live up to my expectations, but I'm not holding that against the film. That's what I brought to the table, and that's my fault, not its. I have to say that I thought this was an enjoyable kind of Christmassy horror romp. It felt a bit small and constrained in places, but the holly jolly nature of it, as well as the decent enough characters, shined through well enough. So there you go, there you have it. That's my review of the 2021 film Black Friday. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you like this, please click like and subscribe, and remember, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.